Good evening, everyone. I've been in jury duty all week. I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. Yay! My name is Ellie Weisenberg-Kelly. I'm the manager of public programs and residencies here at the Mechanico Center, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome all of you to tonight's performance of Fieras by A Palo Seco Flamenco Company. Yeah. The Mechanico Center rests in Lenape-Hoking, unceded land of the native Lenape people. We honor the Lenape, past, present, and future, in gratitude and appreciation for their stewardship of this land for generations. Tonight's show is our final public program of 2023, wrapping up our first full year of programming here at the David Rockefeller Creative Arts Center. And I speak for all of my colleagues at the RBF in expressing our deepest gratitude to the artists who have developed work here, including this amazing group you're going to see tonight, and sharing it with all of you, our wonderful community, and our visitors who have helped bring this beautiful building to life. We're so excited to bring artists and the community together to share in the creative process much more in 2024. And now it's my pleasure to introduce A Palo Seco. A Palo Seco were in residence here at Mechanico in late September, and it was an honor to provide the time and space for the development of Fieras, an original piece directed by A Palo Seco's founder and artistic director, Rebecca Tomas. We have some of her #1 fans in the audience. While we were set to present Fieras in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month on September 29th, which you may recall was quite a weather event, Mother Nature unfortunately had other plans, but we're so thrilled to present Fieras this evening. Fieras is inspired by women who have survived and thrived after experiencing domestic violence. The work was developed through an ArtsWestchester Voices for Change grant and in consultation with members of Hope's Door, a local women's domestic violence shelter. The word fiera in Spanish, and more specifically, flamenco expression, refers to a fierce female energy full of power and force. Tonight, we will no doubt feel the powerful female energy through these incredible artists and the women that inspired this work. Following the performance, please remain seated for a conversation and Q&A with the A Palo Seco creative team and members of Hope's Door. Please note that the performance and the post-show conversation will address the subject of domestic violence. If you prefer not to be present for the conversation, please feel free to exit the performance space following the performance. And we just ask that if you congregate in the gathering space that you just keep your voices down until the conclusion of the talkback, after which we will hope you'll all join us for some refreshments. And in addition, you can view our gallery exhibition, Portraits of Process. And we have our artist in residence, Amanda Lynn, who's here this evening, and her studio is open. She's located at the far end of the gallery, and we encourage you to stop in and enjoy her work. She's our resident through our partnership with the Blue Door Arts Center, which is Mechanico's 2023 Community Arts Resident. And with that, it is my pleasure to present Fieras and the A Palo Seco Flamenco Company. Thank you.
I want to plant a star. I want to grow stars and hope and compassion so the earth can shine and fill us with hope. See how the sun and the moon shine? Just like innocence. It shines brighter than gold, stronger than power, brighter than evil. Innocence shines and shines and shines.
Salgo de mi casa al campo, solo con el pensamiento. Mira que estamos de paso, la vida es un tormento. Con el corazón de un niño, salgo de mi casa al campo, acariciando la vida, contento vivo soñando. Salgo de mi casa al campo, todo con el pensamiento. Mira que estamos de paso, la vida es un momento. Quiero llenarlo de estrellas. Yo tengo un huerto en mi casa. Y quiero sembrarlo de estrellas, de esperanza y de pasión. Para que alumbre a la tierra y nos lleve ilusión. Salgo de mi casa al campo, abrazándome a la vida, viene de la tristeza y llora de la alegría. No se pueden esconder el sol, la luna y la verdad. No se pueden esconder la inocencia brillará.
I was in 3rd grade, sitting on the carpet of the Beyond the Rainbow classroom, when Mrs. O'Connor walked in. She always smelled of sweet perfume, the kindest of teachers. I noticed something around her eye, a bit of faded purple, perhaps, covered up with makeup. I noticed, but I didn't understand. In high school, I was friends with her daughter, though not close. Nobody could get too close with Kathleen because her boyfriend wouldn't allow it. He told her what to wear, and when she wore something different, he would get angry. And we all knew he made her do things that she didn't want, filmed them, and shared them with others. This went on for years, until she finally had enough and pressed charges. But then the boy's mother visited Mrs. O'Connor at home and pleaded with her to drop the charges. Mrs. O'Connor gave in. I've never stopped thinking about Kathleen.
Una niña tenía un reloj nuevo, potente nuevo modelo. Su novio se lo pedía porque tenía deseo de verlo. Y una tarde de verano registrando la máquina partido. Cuando la niña escuchó ese ruido y vio que el reloj se le había partido. Dice la niña con gran alboroto como me presentó delante de mi madre. Con el reloj roto.
Una niña muy presumía que se lavaba de un gran boquín. Cuando salí a la casa su cuerpecito era un figurín. No tenía falta ninguna y era tonta y jorobada, ciega y sin oreja y unos novelos en la cara. No tenía dientes ni tampoco oreja. Tenía una barba sacada por fuera, el vientre inflamado, baja de cadera y un brazo torcido, una pierna zamba. Y otra de madera.
Estaba enamorada, enamoradísima.
I was in love, so in love.
Y tenía tanta ilusión de casarme allí, con mantilla, en la
And
Macarena.
I was so excited to get married there with a mantilla in the Macarena.
La Macarena de Sevilla. Con él, guitarrista.
With him, a guitarist.
Pero luego todo cambió. Nada fue igual.
But then everything changed. Nothing was the same.
Me controlaba, me gritaba, me pegaba,
He controlled me. He yelled at me. He hit me.
hasta que un día cogí mis chanclas, algo de ropa y salí de puntillas para no hacer ruido de ningún
Until
tipo.
one day I grabbed my sandals, some clothes, and I tiptoed out the door so that I wouldn't make any sound at all.
Y me fui.
And I left.
Yo me escapé pronto.
I escaped quickly.
No es tan
It's
sencillo.
not that easy.
Te pido por la humanidad, quita el poder de las manos de mala gente que por cubrirse entero de plata critican, matan y crueles mienten y al mundo engaña pa' que no piense. Libérame de tu enfermedad y de vicio y de envidia y de miedo y soledad.
cuánto más me desprecia, más valgo. Cuanto más me desprecia, más valgo. Para que llore llora
43 cases. 43 cases this year. But where am I in the count? I'm not there. They haven't counted me. I'm not in the numbers. But I'm very close. I'm very close to being counted. Because I'm tired. I'm so very, very tired. He was my neighbor. Everyone knew him. Everyone thought he was so wonderful. No one saw it coming. And I would have never thought. I loved him. I loved him so much. And how was I going to tell? How was I going to say anything? My mother had said to me, that man is not for you. He is not right for you. He's not good for you. Mom, how right you were. Today I feel strong. Today, I'm going to speak up. Today's the day. I feel it. Today's the day.
Cuarenta y tres casos, lo que queda del año. Mira que falto yo, a mí no me han contado. No estoy en el recuento, pero me falta poco. Ay, que estoy cansada. Mira, que estoy cansada. Diego era su nombre, trabajaba conmigo, todos creían que era bueno, yo tenía miedo. Sergio era su nombre, amigo de mi amiga. ¿Cómo iba a pensarlo? Yo le tuve miedo. Era, ay, mi vecino, al pueblo se ha mudado, pensaban que era muy bueno, pensaban que era muy bueno. ¿Cómo era pensarlo con tanto que no quisimos? No supe contarlo, no supe contarlo. Ay, ese hombre no es para ti. Ay, escuchaba y yo hoy siento la fuerza, ay yo y voy a contarlo, ay el día, hoy voy a contarlo, hoy voy a contarlo.
Every 9 seconds, a bite on the back of the neck, a bruise covered up with makeup, a dress ripped off, a fist on the top of the head, a knife drawn, a gun pointed, pulled by the hair down the stairs, dragged towards a hot oven, thrown from a moving car, looked over, talked over, stepped over. Every 9 seconds.
He aquí otra manera de medir y gira, gira el llanto sin cesar. Como rosario, como la novia, como el mundo, como la espiral del mecanismo perfecto y perpetuo de un reo. El año, el siglo, el tiempo, y el llanto y el tiempo contándome los pasos. Contamos el tiempo con las cuentas amargas de las lágrimas. Tic-tac, 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 tic-tac.
Hola, hola.
Rise up, my fair sisters. Rise up. Above mountains, the moon and the sun. Flesh of my flesh. Be careful who you trust. Rise up, my strong sisters. Rise up.
To all survivors with love. I see you, I hear you, I feel you. I validate you. I know your experience. You deserve to live and be loved. Healing is a journey. You must give yourself time. Go as you are. There is no right nor wrong. Keep moving forward with love.
Just if everyone wants to stay seated, we're going to get started with our talk back in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Hello. Hola. Hi. I'm told just to start. Gracias. Thank you all for coming. My name is Rebecca Tomas, and I'm Rebecca Tomas, and I'm the artistic director of A Palo Seco Flamenco Company. Muchas gracias. We have several members of the company and several members of Hope Store. I think I'm going to let everyone introduce themselves. So,
My name's Shair Gadsden. I'm the Director of Outreach and Engagement at Hope Store.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Torras. I'm one of the dancers.
Hello, I'm Barbara Martinez.
Hi, I'm Tania Mesa, the violin player for the show.
Hello everyone, my name is Nana Naji. I'm a survivor.
My name is Shawnee Owen. I'm also a survivor.
These are very inspiring women. I should say, I'm sort of going by the assumption that everyone knows, but I should say that Hope Store is a shelter for victims of domestic abuse. And in this program, we've mostly dealt with females, but it can be male also, or anyone in the family. I think I'm going to just explain a little bit about my process, and then let you speak a little bit about what happens at Hope Store. I started consulting with Carla Horton, who's the executive director of Hope Store, located in Westchester. And I asked them if they wanted to be a partner for this Voices for Change grant that was given by ArtsWestchester to produce. It was a grant to produce a project that would help social change. And so they said yes, and so I went in. There's a lot of emails back and forth. I went in, spoke at length with Carla, who knows a lot. She's a wealth of information, and then thought about whether I could actually, in addition to sort of taking stories or taking, things that I had read or facts, actually working with specifically women who have survived and whoever's in above. And so she reached out, and I had these lovely two women, Shawnee and Nena, reach out to me and say that they were interested in becoming involved. And so that's how I started working with them. And then I also spoke with other women who had gone through Hope Store and other women who I have had, who I've known who have survived domestic violence, and took a lot of stories that I heard, a lot of things that I read, and some of the excerpts that you saw written, I wrote based on personal experiences also. And then I also went into flamenco repertoire to find, there's plenty of letras or lyrics that deal with domestic violence. And also the ability to rise up and the strength of women, which is really also what I wanted to focus on here, is this amazing, we have this line plus of amazingly strong female artists and beings in the world. So I think that's enough for right now. And then so that was my process, and then it's all collaborative once, I have a vision, but then all my artists are super helpful and do a lot of assisting. And actually Shawnee also, when we went back and forth once, because Shawnee has background in acting and in theater and directing, and so she had some ideas also. And
I stuck my nose in a few times.
It was so great. I loved it. It made it collaborative, which I loved. I'm going to let you talk a little bit about Hope Store, and then we can open it up to questions.
As mentioned before, Hope Store is a domestic violence agency, and so we work with the victims and survivors of domestic abuse to help them kind of gain back that independence. We provide emergency shelters, but we also have counseling for children and adults. We have a Next Step program where when they go on that journey from victim to becoming survivor, sometimes it's hard for them to take that literal next step into finding work, getting their education. A lot of times they were held back, so we're trying to make sure that they can gain that independence back, that they can work on their own and be able to provide for themselves. We also have a legal center established pretty recently, like maybe a year before COVID in 2019. So we work with orders of protection, we work with divorce cases, anything that anybody might need inside the court system. And all of our services are free. We don't believe in charging because why charge for that kind of work, right? We also have youth prevention, and that's when we go into middle schools and high schools, community centers, even churches or group homes and stuff like that. And we kind of talk to students about what domestic abuse is, what red flags to look out for, what are healthy components of relationships, because it starts young. So that prevention part, we're trying to make sure that when they're out on their own, when they're not home anymore, when they're going to explore the world, that when they're choosing a partner, they're making the right choices along the way. Then of course, outreach and community things. So we like to go into community, make sure everybody has access to our hotline number, which is 24/7. So we have somebody there to answer at all times. And once you call for that hotline, you have access to all of our services as well. You know, if you have any questions, of course, along the way, I'm sure we'll have the Q&A part, but that's kind of the gist. And we have our survivors like Shone and Anna, who are part of the advocacy group sometimes when we help them along the way. It's so great to see you guys up here. Like, it really means the world, and it reminds you why you do work like this, right? Because you want to see people empower and inspire.
Before we take questions, I also want to say that a huge part of the reason that we could be here again after we were supposed to be here before is the generosity of the Cantico Center, who hosted us for a week-long residency in which we created all of this. So we had all these ideas. One of the pieces was created, Elizabeth and I, in a CDI CUNY residency, CUNY Dance Initiative residency last year at Queens College, and that was that chunky piece. And then the rest of it, well, there's all these ideas here and there, was mostly created in the week-long residency that we had. Thank you all to the Cantico Center. And then we were supposed to do a showing then, which got flooded out, and they were very generous to have us back. So we're very appreciative of that. Thank you all. Yeah, so anyone who has questions, there's microphones. You don't have to ask, or you can say.
Hi, I am so happy I came tonight. So happy to see you. You are absolutely magnificent. And it's so, I don't know, it's so visceral what you do. And I know flamenco. I'm from Romania, from Eastern Europe. And we appreciate flamenco. We're, even in the communist times, we had flamenco shown on our little Russian TVs, black and white. And it has been, for me, a fantastic experience. My question is, how did you end up with flamenco?
Oh my gosh. Do you mean for this or for
in your life? What inspired you to turn to flamenco?
I studied abroad for a semester. That's me. I didn't dance growing up. I'm not Spanish. I studied abroad.
I realize because you have no accent.
Pero tampoco mucho en español, eh?
I'm sure.
I'm from Spain, I'm from Barcelona, and I kind of saw it around all the time. So it was easy for me to start when I was very little with flamenco. It was kind of everywhere.
I think flamenco is such an expressive art form, and you can speak to so many different emotions, And sometimes when we're pouring out our souls, if it's dancing or the music or the singing, I think that we always get a feedback from the people that were there for that they felt like a kind of exorcism too. Like there's a connection that I think is mutual too. So that's why I love flamenco.
For me, I'm from the Canary Islands, Spain, so it was closer, but in the Canary Islands actually not that many people do flamenco. But since I was a kid, for some reason, I always loved flamenco and would do my made-up tap dancing and always liked the style until I moved to Barcelona. Then is when I started actually learning properly flamenco.
Thank you, ladies. Can I say something else? Is somebody else with their hand up? It's funny because recently I saw on Euronews a documentary about domestic violence in Spain, and it's heart-wrenching what Franco's dictatorship and the Catholic Church did to the women in Spain. And as a Romanian, part of the worst dictatorship, communist dictatorship in Europe after Stalin, we always thought that Spain is a Western democracy. And then we found out that actually for women especially, it has been extremely difficult to have a normal life in Spain. And even now, after so many years, after Franco is dead, the legal system and the police and the mentalities didn't change that much, and there's still problems. Like everywhere in the world, even here in America, after 250 years of democracy, we still have problems.
Just speaking to that, the piece 43 casos, 43 cases, which Shanae read the translation of, that piece was written by Sol, who's not here. She was in the residency. She's a dear friend and compañera. And she, que viva Sol, está en Granada. She lives in Granada. And she wrote and composed that in another project that she did in regards to, is called Ni una Carmen Más, Ni una Carmen Más, which another colleague did. Also a piece, and they took specific articles. I think there was one summer where there was just like an enormous amount of cases and deaths, and so this woman had given Sol some of the articles, and she read them, and she composed that piece, which is just so poignant. That's really, but yeah, and that was in Spain. Does anyone?
If it's not too personal and you feel comfortable saying, even before you started speaking with Carla, like what was the? Oh, I'm not talking loud enough. Now it's probably too loud. Sorry. What was the real genesis of your idea and vision, like the real seedling? Like if you can call back to that.
I think Molly and David also know a little bit to this. I mean, in the work that I do in our company, it's always female dancers, and I always, my thing is, female empowerment, and I've always felt that. I mean, even before dancing, that's something that's been a big impetus for me, and it's been a big impetus in all the work that I've created. And then when I had heard about the grant and something for social change doing, it was sort of it was time for me to do another big project. I hadn't created a show in a long time. I created pieces. And so, and for me, it was I want to create something. The last thing we did was Nosotras Somos, which was also all women, and we did some spoken word. And then, but this was sort of I want to have, there needs to be I don't know, a cause, right? So I thought smaller, I thought of a couple of smaller topics within sort of female rights, and specifically I thought of period poverty, but that was very specific. And then I was talking to a friend who mentioned Hope Store, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it was just and it was just as soon as that, so it's like a light bulb, and then it just all sort of, everything came into place. Yeah, all the way back there. Yeah, this is the first time we've done it. We hope so. We will be at Ostos on another CDI grant. Ostos Performing Arts Center on February 3rd, and we will at the very least present excerpts of this. My grand idea and hope for this is to take this sort of the skeleton of this project and be able to bring it to different locations around the country, at least, starting with the tri-state area, and work with shelters or with survivors, victims and survivors in different locations, and be able to take some of their stories or some of and perhaps include more people in it. So that's sort of the grand idea. So it's a matter of figuring out how to do that. But yes, we would love to do that, and we would love to continue doing this. I just feel like it's important work. Yeah?
I wanted to thank you for the amazing, powerful performance, and you just answered my question. It really deserves to be expanded and projected very widely. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Let me grab the mic for you because we're live streaming. We'd love for everyone to hear the question.
Oh, sorry.
Is it down
And
here?
if we need to cut this, you guys need to let me know. And there's Alice and Paul. So is that Allison? You can go.
Oh, it's my turn. This was an incredibly powerful and emotional piece, and that domestic abuse would be portrayed in this venue is just amazing to me. I mean, for how long was this behind closed doors? So I'm wondering, because it is so powerful and it can be so evocative, was there any point that you thought, I don't know if I can do this?
For me, there wasn't a point where I didn't think I could do it. It was how far do we go, and how sort of down into the darkness do we go, and how, it's sort of playing that fine line. What about you guys? Was there any point where you felt like, no, you didn't want to do this?
Well, as a survivor, there are many, I can speak for myself and hearing from other survivors. There is always, as a survivor, your experience kind of transformed you, meaning that whenever you're subjected to an opportunity to speak about your story, you have to remember that you might get flashbacks. You might, it's almost like we're survivors, but then these opportunities come, and it's like an opportunity to bring awareness. But then again, it's an opportunity also to kind of open up old wounds. So, the question becomes, you weigh like a scale. For me, I take any opportunity that I can give of myself to share my experience, to expose my experience as a way of saying, hey, I survived. And then when Rebecca gave the opportunity through Hope's Door, it's a way of showing that people do care, people do love you, and the company, the warmth, and the other survivors, their support is like, we're here for you. So even though old wounds are going to be open, even though it's scary, during rehearsal, the way I did today wasn't how I did in rehearsal, remember? I did good today, but I froze, Not today, but before. Meaning that, I was afraid, in front of all of these people. But by you guys coming today, it's showing support. You're open, it's an open door. It's It's you're showing that, you know, there's no shame in this. There's like, we're speaking about Spain. I'm from Nigeria. Some people are from Cuba. I'm sure there's different nationalities here. Domestic violence affects everyone. And of course it's about female empowerment, but then we cannot forget the men who go through it as well. So this is an opportunity. I say the answer to your question, yes. There is always, I cannot do this, because nobody wants to keep on reliving what they survived. But then again, you know, like I said, there is hope, love, support, and all of this, so why not?
I don't know how I follow that poetic beauty. I feel that for years I stayed behind closed doors and said nothing, and nobody knew anything, and I probably didn't admit things to myself fully. So honestly, I take every opportunity to shout it from the rooftops that I am now a survivor, and that these things happen across socioeconomic lines. And I think there's a misconception very often that it's, you know, those people, it's everybody. And I feel that it's healing to speak about it. It's certainly healing to be a part of a strong group of women, and I'm extremely grateful to be here. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you all, for both of you especially, for speaking so honestly. And that goes into my question. I wonder if anybody else from Hope's Door is here, or if there's a way to share it with survivors as well as people, that it's great for us to have public awareness raised. But I would think this kind of performance would be so empowering, and I would hope that that's something that might happen as well.
I sent Carla for the link for the live stream, but then I'll send you guys the video. And so yes, and I mean, we'll continue to be in touch with them. But yeah, hopefully it will get out there and people will watch.
Thank you, everyone. We have time for one more question. Okay. I'll make my way over.
First, congratulations. You are inspiration.
Gracias.
Have you seen cases of abusers who change?
It's a great question. I think because we work mostly with victims and survivors, that's where our focus tends to be. So it's kind of hard to determine that, since we're not directly working or in sight with the abuser. So I can't necessarily speak on that on like a, I guess, professional way to say. Sure, there are cases where they have changed, but they're, you know, the survivor, the victim, they know them best, and we can only go so far with what that change might be.
I want to say the question is, can you tell him the question? The question is, what I will say is that the boyfriend in that first, that was personal, people who that was, you know, my experience. And from what I've heard is that the boyfriend, I think he did go through some change. I think he became very religious and has a very large family. So I don't know. These are my friends from high school who've, you know, known some of that, and who know his mom. Their moms know his mom. I don't know how much of a change that is, but from what they said, there was some. I don't know, Nena or Shanae, do you guys have something to say about that?
Well, no is the answer. Frankly, no. He did not change. he continues to abuse, in other ways. So my therapist warned me about that, by the way, when I got divorced, and she said, Shawnee, don't think for 1 second that just because you're divorced that he will stop trying to abuse you. He will just find other ways. And he's awfully good at it, but the change has to come from me that I don't accept it anymore.
On top of what Sayan said, I'm very grateful for that gentleman over there. I want to thank you for that question because, as a survivor, I am also an advocate. I became an advocate too. I advocate for survivors, and I also advocate for the, alleged abusers. And I'm very, very careful with how my language when I'm speaking about the abusers because, as a mental health professional, as a woman of God, as just someone who really loves humanity, I know about, surviving childhood abuse too. And oftentimes a lot of abusers, they come from, if they take the opportunity to vent about their life, you hear that they come from abusive background. I'm not sure if this is being recorded, but I do respect my children's father's past, but I would just say that they come from, in my case, he never spoke of it, but he used to question, why am I like this? And then he'll give me little clips of what happened. And I would speak to other family members, and I'm like, wow, that sounds like horror. So I do have some form of mercy, and I do advocate for abusers to get the help, because there is hope. The same way we're getting help, they can. And also in my advocacy as a survivor, I've been fortunate to see some families change, through, they'll come to me. And of course you want to, to suggest, what I do is I suggest Hope Door, My Sister's Place. There are many organizations in the community that help survivors. So me as a survivor, as a support survivor, I just give that information. But a lot of times, like me, I loved my children's father. I have real love, but I just didn't love the choices he was making. I didn't like the abuse. I didn't like my children witnessing it. So I had to make a really big decision after 25 plus years. Because as a Nigerian, you're raised as a Nigerian woman, you have to stay. You have to endure. But I don't know how much enduring, my body, it just couldn't. So I just know, a lot of times if they get the help, yes, they do change. They do. I've seen it. It's not consistent if the pattern of behavior is long, but I've seen marriages when they nip it in the bud early, it's a better outcome. The longer it is, it's a little bit difficult, but it's not impossible.
We're done? Yeah. I thank you all for coming, and thank you all for being here. Thank the two of you. Thank you for coming. And we can talk more out there. Photo. All right, go have some refreshments. They're really yummy out there.